Assalamu alaikum, my dear students of class 9. Today I shall discuss chapter 5, Ethics in IT. IT means information technology. Now what is ethics? IT means information technology. Ethics is a broad term that what are the things related to information. Now in today's global world, in today's digital world, all information are being digitalized. Means what? The information are stored in computer. You can see in every field the data are stored in computer. Now there appears a huge major concern is that the security of the information. So there are some ethics. In today's world, the huge information has a huge effect in everyone's day-to-day life. Now the information can be a text, information can be audio, information can be video, information can be any multimedia. All information, because what is stored in computer are all information. Now the government sector information is stored in a computer. Many companies, many private sectors data are stored, information is stored in the computer. Now information technology has become the life-changing matter in medicine, in transportation, in banking sector, in government sector, in security, in research work, in education, in all aspects. So it has affected one's day-to-day life in both right way or in wrong way. Now the IT is used in online shopping, in online banking, it is used in a game, in every aspect. So the major thing is that there is a major concern of the security of the information. The first thing is that the plagiarism. Plagiarism. Now plagiarism is a threat to the information. Plagiarism is the act of stealing someone's ideas or works and pasting it as our own. Suppose say someone has posted some ideas, his own ideas. Now what I do, I just copy paste his ideas and pretend that it is mine. So this is plagiarism, and it is a threat to information, because see what I told, that the person who has first thought of a line, it is his line. Now if I copy it and I tell that this is my line, so this is plagiarism. Now this plagiarism includes text, multimedia, word, sentence, phrases. Plagiarism can also take intentionally or it can be unintentionally also, in many forms. And now whether plagiarism is a crime, but see, plagiarism is a criminal activity, because why? Some other work someone is taking and just pretending that it is his own work. Suppose X has done some work and Y has just copied his work and he is telling that Y has done it. So it is some sort of crime, but plagiarism itself is not a crime. So what are the types of plagiarism? So basically there are 4 types of plagiarism. Direct plagiarism, then we have mosaic plagiarism, then we have self plagiarism, and we have accidental plagiarism. Now what is direct plagiarism? Direct plagiarism happens when we copy and paste complete sentence or paragraph, someone's other complete paragraph, and without attributing that it is his work, instead that I will say that it is my work. So this is direct plagiarism. Directly I am copying another one's others a sentence or a line without giving a credit to that person. So this is direct plagiarism. Now mosaic plagiarism means this type form of plagiarism occurs when a writer leaves phrases without using quotation. So it is required that if I use some other person's work, I should mention either have use quotation or else I can give a reference that it is his work. Now if I do not put in reference, if I do not put any quotation, this is mosaic plagiarism. Next we have self plagiarism. Self plagiarism means what? Suppose say I have done a work say last year. Now this year again I am making a copy of this work without, and basically the self plagiarism is related with the research work, that a researcher has done a work earlier, then again he is doing the same work without the concern of that supervisor or the his professor, without permission. So this is known as self plagiarism. And lastly we have accidental plagiarism. As the name mentioned, the accidental plagiarism means what? Someone has quoted another's sentence and accidentally he forgets to mention his name or reference or give quotation. So this is accidental plagiarism. Now why should we avoid plagiarism? Now we should avoid plagiarism because it is like this, that some others work, some others line, if I pretend that it is mine, so it feels bad to that person. So we should avoid this plagiarism. So to avoid plagiarism, we should follow some guidelines. So first one is that cite your resource. We should cite our resource. Suppose if I take any line or any work from others in my work, if I have any other's work included, so I should refer his name or I should give a citation to that. So we should cite our resource. Next we should include quotation, or else we can include a quotation that so it's understandable that it is another's one work. Number 3, paraphrase the right way. Paraphrase is the relating source ideas. That paraphrasing means what? Okay, some others one line I can write in such a way that the meaning remains same but the line changes. So this is known as paraphrasing. And number 4th one is present your own idea. So it is the best one is that we should present our own idea. And if you take a reference of any other person work, we should give a reference. We should cite that particular line. Now next, coming to IPR. IPR means intellectual property right. Now this is a very important concept for today's world. IPR. Because of IPR protects the information, individuals' information or are protected based on IPR, intellectual property right. Intellectual property is defined as any work that is creative and includes inventions or literary works, images, symbols which is new or for the first time. Say for example that Graham Bell invented telephone. Now that particular invention was done by Graham Bell. Now it is that work, because of IPR, this work credit goes to Graham Bell, intellectual property right. Now with the introduction of internet, laws surrounding intellectual properties has been changed significantly. There are rights of the owner information, the rights not only of work, invention, even some lines also we can copyright it, lines also. So there came the intellectual property right, the rights of the owner information to decide how much information is exchanged. So IPR consists of three laws that protects intellectual property. These are copyright, trademark and patent. Copyrights, trademark and patents. Now what is copyright? So you might have seen in any thing that like this one, C, like this there, this C means copyright. Copyright, this means what? You can see in your textbook also, in your textbook of your computer science, you can see there is a copyright there, that no one can make a copy, of this one without prior permission. So this is the copyright. You can see in page number 2, Copyright Board of Secondary Education. So this is the copyright of, like this we see Copyright of Board of Secondary Education. Copyright means what? This word has right of Sheba. Now if someone wants to copy this, then they should take a prior permission from Sheba. And it is unlawful and unethical to use them without the permission of the owner. So suppose say if I make a new book, suppose I have made a new book for class 9 computer science, and I have used all the wording, everything same I have used, and then I have given that this author writer is, I have put my name. So what? I have violated the copyright, I have violated the intellectual property right. So I will come under the law. Law can be taken against me for violating the rules. Next, trademark. What is trademark? A trademark is a distinctive sign that identifies certain goods or services produced or provided by individual company. Every company, every organization has a trademark. A trademark is there. Now if someone copies this same trademark, so it will breach the IPR, intellectual property right. So law can be, so we can take action against that particular organization or company. So trademark are basically a distinct sign. Some signs that basically every company have some distinctive sign is there. Next, patent. What is patent? Patent grants monopoly for exploitation of invention. Basically what? Nowadays when new things are invented or discovered, now this a patent is made for this particular work, that if someone want to access this work, so they should contact with the owner or the writer or the inventor of this thing. So this is the patent. Now for around 5-6 years ago, there was a big fight broke out between Apple and Samsung based on a trademark. So because this was possible because of IPR. Now what is security and integrity information? Now as from all this up to how much I've discussed, we have seen that the most important thing is the security of information, because I told that information can be text or image or audio, video, anything, mean distinctive work. And computer security includes procedural techniques that are designed to protect a computer from accidental or intentional theft or unauthorized access or manipulation. And this security threat may cause loss of revenue for government or any organization, and it may also cause valuable data loss, productivity loss, and many more loss are there. Now next, what is network security? Now because every information, every data are there in the network, so in the resides in the network, so there is a huge concern of network security. The network security is security provided to a network from unauthorized access and risk. Computer networks that are involved in regular transactions, communication within the government, individual or company require security. Now say government, for government organization, some data are there in a server, so it must, that particular server must be secure, otherwise there can be a security threat. Security threat is there. I'll be discussing. Nowadays you have heard of one some security threat is there, Pegasus. Nowadays in India, whole over world it is going the Pegasus, because it is a spyware which could theft data. As I told earlier also, the most important thing in a computer network is the information. So if there is a breach of information, means it is a loss for someone. And basically now say if you come to the banking sector, in banking sector all the data related to transaction, deposit, withdrawal are stored in the network. Now if there is any security threat, so what will happen? It will be a loss for individual and the company. And next term is the firewall. So what is firewall? Now basically nowadays when a operating system is made, so it is being made, the firewall is being incorporated into that operating system. So firewall is a network security system that manages and regulates the network. It manages and regulates the network traffic based on internet. Now based on some internet protocols. Now say the most important protocol which the computer network uses the TCP/IP. Now for communicating data, the computer network uses HTTP protocol. Now as I told, as I have shown in my earlier class, chapter 4, that I told you about HTTP and HTTPS. Now HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. S means secure. One thing you see, when you are doing a banking transaction online, do see one thing, when the URL comes, if in the URL S is not there, means what? It is not secure. If S is there, it is secured. Many personal computers use software-based firewalls to secure data from threats from the internet. So many personal computers, they use some softwares for the security of the data, and one of such thing is the antivirus. You have heard of the word antivirus. Now you have heard of virus. Virus means a threat to a computer or the network. Now when a virus enters into a computer, it may corrupt a computer, it may damage a computer, or it may steal, it may damage some important information also. Now antivirus software is developed to destroy the virus. An antivirus is a tool that is used to detect and remove malicious software, means harmful software. It was originally designed to detect and remove virus from computers, and some of the type of computer viruses are of the form like worms, Trojan horse, spyware, then adwares, so malware. These all are some threat to the computer information or information. Now what is internet security? Internet security deals largely with the transit of information, because the most important, because in a computer, in internet, what is there? Only information is there. So the security information is the first and foremost thing in a network of internet. For example, imagine that suppose you have sent a message, you have sent an email to a particular, say suppose X has sent a mail to Y. Now say for example, in between that he has sent the mail to Y over internet. Now if somewhere Z was able, now X is sender and Y is receiver. Now if Z is able to find the message, so this is unauthorized access. This is unauthorized access, because why? The message was sent by X for Y and Z has somewhere got, so it should not be there. In internet, in network, it should not be there. In particular, the network has some security levels, like they have SSL, secure socket layer, then they have TSL, transport layer security, are the forms of encryption and authentication commonly used by business. Now they use the SSL, TSL for this is the some layers of security which are used in network. Next is the, what is password security? Password security. Now you can see, when we are having any email, we have a username and password. We can give our username to someone else, but we will not share our password with anyone else. Now in every aspect, basically if you have any in social media or in any type of database communication, we have some username, like banking, online banking, you have username, password. Say in your social networking site like Facebook, we have our emails, we have our username and password. Now what is the password? What is that password? Now password is a form of authenticating the user. Now whether he is the user or what, password provides the first line of defense. Password is the first line of defense against unauthorized access to a computer, or it can be unauthorized access against the personal information. Password is the key or secret word which is used to protect our information, because I have my information stored in an email or say in any other site, and I have for particular that for accessing that particular that information, we must give username and password. That password is known to me. Someone other knows the password, then he can get my information. Now there are guidelines for maintaining a good password. This is very important. Number one, the password, we should make a password which should be of at least 8 character long, and minimum 8 character. We can exceed 8. We can have a 20 character long password also. And we should have a mixture of uppercase and lowercase. Uppercase means capital letter and small letter. And we could also have the mixture of letters and numbers. And we could also include symbols also. And another good practice is that we should change the password regularly, and avoid using the word from dictionary. Now one thing is that earlier people used to send the store the password as their phone number. Someone used to store the password as the date of birth. Someone used to used to give the password as his favorite dish. Nowadays someone may hack. So what? You should make a password which is a combination of upper capital letter, small letter, then letters and numbers. We can also use the special symbols also in a password. Now, what is users privacy? Privacy is an important aspect of life. Now, every individual has a privacy. We have a privacy of information, we have privacy of data, every privacy is there. It is a desirable condition or moral right that the person has in relation to another person. Now, one person, if we relate one person to another, distinction is there, the privacy is there. Now, based on privacy, so the most important thing which is that the privacy of the information. The next term is you all have heard of this word, cybercrime. What is cybercrime? The crime which is related to a computer network, or network based anything, it is known as cybercrime. Cybercrime is a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer network or network device. And the people who are associated with the computer crimes are known as hackers, crackers, then we have virus programmer, then we have information warrior. Like this, so many names are there: hacker, cracker, virus programmers, then information warriors. So they are all cyber criminals, and this practice is illegal and unlawful. This hacking, cracking, information warrior, then virus programmer, these are unlawful and illegal. Now, what is hacker? A hacker is a person who breaks into computer system to get illegal access to information and stored there. Now, hacker tries to enter in your computer system and to store, to steal information or data from your computer without your consent. These are unauthorized access. Now, what is cracker? A cracker is a person who breaks in a computer system just like hacker with the intention to steal password, files or programs for unauthorized access. Now, if you compare hacking and cracking, the cracking one is the bad, because hacker is also illegal, but the cracker tries to steal your password also. Now, as I told you earlier that nowadays one thing is going, you have heard of Pegasus. Pegasus is a spyware. What is spyware? I am telling that spyware means what? It may be a software or anything which looks useful at first instant you may look, oh, it is useful, but actually this software is spying on you and he is stealing your secret information. Now, Pegasus, present day it is being in India also it is being rolled that Pegasus is stealing some data from mobile phones, from computers. So it is a spyware. So some hacker and cracker may have created this Pegasus in order to get the secret information, some other secret information. Now, how to protect against cybercrime? Now, cybercrime is a criminal activity. Now, how to keep ourselves protected, keep our information protected from these cyber criminals? Number one, keep software and operating system updated. Always we should update our software and operating system. Next, we should use antivirus programs and keep it always updated. Next is basically for our emails or any social media or any programs, we should have a strong password, and we should not open anything from spam image, because spam is unwanted or unsolicited image, so we should not open it. Sometime in email you may find, nowadays one thing is there in mobile phones or in emails comes that you have owned this $, and kindly proceed. And few days back I watched that it is coming that you can earn 1,000 to 10,000 rupees per hour by clicking on this link. So this actually this I am not telling that all are bad, but this is there are some cyber crime related to this type of things. Do not give out personal information unless secure. We should not give out personal information unless it is secured, and we should be mindful of which website URL we are viewing, and we should always keep our eye on bank statement. Nowadays another activity is going. This is now the banking related the some money gets someone takes away money from your account. We have heard nowadays it is coming that it is also related to the cyber crime. Someone will send a OTP in a mobile phone, and it is told that your mobile phone is being today it will be off. So in order to activate it, I am sending you OTP. Give me, and then I will repair it. Now when I give you the OTP, actually he is doing what? He is getting a OTP related to your bank statement. He is getting the OTP and just he is taking all the money. So these all are done by the cyber criminals. So we should be mindful while doing any activity. Now what is software piracy? Software piracy is the act of stealing a software that is legally protected. Now every software is legally protected. Now if you steal any software, it is software piracy. This stealing includes copying, distributing, modifying or selling software. Suppose say I have purchased a software, licensed software, then I have installed the software in my computer, then I have installed another one's computer. That what I am doing, I am breaching the agreement, software agreement. So this is known as software piracy. So there are some types of software piracy are there. They are known as soft lifting, hard disk loading, counterfeiting, renting, and end user privacy. One thing I'm telling that maximum people are using the operating system Windows 7, Windows 8, 10, but actually these all are licensed operating system. Licensed version operating system is there, but many people are using what they are some cracker is cracking that software. They are using the cracked version of the software. So what this is also software piracy. The most common type of piracy is soft lifting, and it is also known as soft loading, means sharing a program with someone who is not authorized by license agreement to use it. Who is not authorized license agreement, but you are sharing that software. Next is the hard disk loading. The hard disk loading is type of commercial software piracy in which someone buys a legal version of the software and then he reproduces copies and install it on another computer. And then we have the counterfeiting. The counterfeiting means producing fake copies of software and making it look authenticated. And then we have the renting. The renting involves someone's renting out a copy software for temporary use without the permission of the copyright holder. So I am renting a software for someone's other software without permission from the developer of the software. And last one is the end user privacy. This occurs when individual reproduces copies of software without authentication. So this includes that using one licensed copy to install a program on multiple computers, copying disk for installation or distribution, taking advantage of upgrading software, acquiring academic or other restricted software without proper license, swapping disk in and outside the workplace. So this is the way by which we are breaking the end user privacy issue. So the main objective of computer ethics, the ethics and IT is that we should ensure the security and safety of the computer data information to help people use the computer in the right way and to guarantee that the works done by someone did not get copied by others. Therefore, we should follow the ways to improve our ethics to achieve all the objective, as this issue really important about, because nowadays in this globalization, in the digital world, ethics is a very important aspect, because what I have discussed today, you have found that there is a breach of all things there. However, we should also encourage to recognize the activities that should follow computer ethics. Like as a teacher, I am telling you that we should follow this ethics and activities that against computer ethics as a precaution in our life, because like if you do a cyber crime also, if you do hacking or hacking also, it might happen that we can go to jail. Someone may get detected. If you do software piracy also, it is also a criminal activity. If you do plagiarism, it is also very bad. So computer ethics are very important for us to live comfortably in peace, and hence we should, as a computer user, we should follow computer ethics while using computer in computer network or in information technology, and also in our day-to-day life. So this was all about my discussion in chapter 5, ethics in information technology. Hope you understand, and also you try to follow this ethics in your, as you are a computer science student, you should follow this ethics in your day-to-day life, also when you are accessing internet and in your future life also. So thank you.